So, after I followed up on Need for Speed, I thought I'd follow up on the other game that I reviewed since I've spent, I'm in my fourth season with Championship Manager now, and my opinions haven't really changed too much. I'm getting less and less impressed with it over time, I'm afraid. Um, I started out with Notts County, obviously because they were I prefer the term third or fourth division, but of course it's a League Two these days, the Coca-Cola stupid championship. But as they were down there, but they've obviously had the injection of money, so I was expecting a fairly easy game, but not that easy. Obviously, trying to get to the Premiership eventually, but it's been a whole lot easier than I thought. Uh, I'm really not that good at these kind of games, and I do occasionally have a tendency, if like there's a big game and my job's kind of riding on it, then I will occasionally cheat. I'll save before the game, and if it goes terribly wrong, or like my star player gets injured horrifically for 10 months, then I'll reload. It's a stupid thing to admit that I cheat at such a game, but I'm liable to do that every now and again. But this one, I haven't needed to. The first season, I expected to win League Two because I had a bit of money to spend as well as having like Sol Campbell, despite the fact he's now of course walked out. So I doubt he'll be in the squad for the new Football Manager when I will. And yes, I am actually going to be getting that now. This game has made me do that, I'm afraid, but. I expected to win that. That was no problem. And the next season, like they gave me a bit of money. I think I had like £1 million or something pounds to spend, and a bit more on my wage bill. There's no way to, like you can in Football Manager, there's no way to negotiate. Say, I'll have 20 grand a week less on my wage bill. You give me another £1 million to spend on a player, because that will really make a difference. There's no way you can do that. So, well, like I said, I'm in the fourth season. I'm now in the Premiership, having won League Two, and then the next season I won League One and the Football League Trophy, division, the League One, League Two, whatever the hell it's called. Um, and then I won the championship. And despite the fact that both the fans and the board were expecting both in League One and the championship, and now of course in the Premiership they're expecting me to just avoid relegation. Even in the championship they're saying, look, we know we're 99% going to go down. Just do your best, rebuild the squad, and attack it to try and bounce straight back. And I've not spent huge. Well, I kind of have now. I'm in the Premiership, but I've spent in the 4 seasons. I think it's 17 million, which is a bit ridiculous for a club of Notts County's size. But I've that's gone on over like 20 odd players, and I'm finding the whole experience a bit weird because, well, I'm 6 games into the Premiership and I just beat Liverpool 2-0 away with Sol Campbell at 38 still at the back of the defence, and he's got 10 out of 10 and he's easily still the best player in the game, so he doesn't seem to be declining with age. But he handed in a transfer request season and a half ago, and he's still very happy at the club, which he's not rescinding the request, which I think is a bit weird. The only reason that he put in a request was because, having risen from League Two to the Championship, I thought, well, he's not indispensable to the club anymore. I can easily go out and buy a 24-year-old that's, well, as it turns out with his stats, that, like I said, they're not going down. I can't actually do that, but I could easily go out and replace him, no problem. He's not indispensable anymore like he was in League Two. And the same with other players I got, like Nigel Quashie. He was very happy to sign for me as an indispensable player in League Two, but he doesn't seem to understand that now I'm in the Premiership. And now he's 33, and because he's unhappy with me, he says he's retiring at the end of the season. Uh, he's only an important first team player, which it's not reasonable in my opinion. Like, if you step up a level, you expect maybe you're not going to play such a big part. I mean, these players have stepped up 3 levels in 3 years. That they still expect to be the best player at the club. It's That's the kind of thing that happens in like striker, which I'm hoping is still around because it seems to have been replaced with some, but I'm hoping it's only a temporary thing. And like the Roy of the Rovers type, that doesn't happen in real life, and it would never happen in like even Football Manager 2007. I don't think you wouldn't get anything ridiculous like that. And I just seem to be unable to lose. I don't know whether it's just the team that I've picked or what, but ever since I started, like the average, like the lowest rating I've had for a player who's played more than say 10 games is like 7.3, and like the players don't really seem to have an off day, even when I lose. Like they've had the most of the game. They've well, not in the Premiership anymore, but like in the lower divisions, it's like it was only because their keeper had a stunning game that I would lose. I've not changed my tactics in any way, shape, or form. I'm still playing with half the players that I had after, well, half the players I had after I started League One, because obviously you place some of the original team, but it just that it needs a lot more work than I first realised. I'm still hoping, I'm thinking it's not going to be next season that it's going to compete with the new Football Manager. It's going to be at least 2 years before they manage to do that. But I'm still going to be happily playing away on it until the new Football Manager. I believe that's the back end of next month when that finally comes out. So I do have at least 4 more weeks where well, this is one of the things I do like about it is the fact that you don't have to run it full screen. You can actually run it as just another window on your desktop. So I mean, I'm recording this as I'm having it run in the background, which is lovely for a management game because it can occasionally take a while to progress to the next little bit that you can actually interact with. And I mean, I've got everything else that I'm doing the entire internet. That's all the sites that I usually visit. So it's just something that's there that I can go on every now and again, and it's just open. That is one aspect that I do like about it. But if it wasn't for that, if it was just something that I could do that, or I could do something else that it wasn't possible to do both together, I don't think it'd even be on my hard drive anymore. Even if even if I was told you can't re-download this, I don't think it'd be on the hard drive anymore if I couldn't do that. So uh, it's a bit of an outdated game. I mean, as I mentioned before, I realise time is running out, but there's no real interaction, and like the transfers as well. Like there's no wiggle room. There's not as much negotiation and bits you can do with it. Like I've come to expect these days. So it's a nice try, but they're a bit further away than I first thought. So well, there you go.